Hello everyone, my name is Benedicta Alicia Larissa with student number 4.
Hi everyone, my name is Gerarda Mayala Deodanitare Ardova with student number 13.
Hi everyone, my name is Meliana Sita Yusdara and my student number is 14.
Hello everyone, my name is Manala Pengga Olga Purnama, student number 32.
For the first question, what is a phoneme? A phoneme is a small unit of sound in a language that can change the meaning of a word. It is an abstract linguistic concept that represents a family of similar sounds, also known as allophones, which may vary slightly in pronunciation depending on the speaker or the surrounding sounds but do not change the meaning of the word. For example, in English, the words cat and bat differ by only one sound, the k sounds in cat and the p sound in bat. Since replacing k with p result in a completely different word, k and p considered separated phonemes in English. The number of phonemes varies between languages. English has around 44 phonemes, while languages like Hawaiian have fewer about 13. Some languages also distinguish between phonemes that may sound similar to non-native speakers. For example, in Japanese, the R sound and L sounds are not distinct phonemes, while they are in English. This is why Japanese speakers learning English may sometimes struggle to differentiate between words like rice and lice. Phonemes are crucial in phonology, the study of how sounds function in a particular language. They help in understanding pronunciation rules, spelling patterns, and even how accent and dialect develop. Linguists identify phonemes through minimal pairs, which are pairs of words that differ by only one sound, such as pin, bin, sip, and zip.
An allophone is a variant pronunciation of a phoneme that does not change the meaning of a word. Allophones occur based on the phonetic environment but are still perceived as the same sound by speaker of a language. And then some key characteristics of allophone. First, it belongs to the same phonemes. Allophones are different ways of pronouncing a single phoneme. Second, to not create different words. Unlike phonemes, which can change meaning, example, p and p in pet versus pet, allophones do not alter a word's meaning. Third, depend on phonetic environment. So their occurrence is influenced by surrounding like sound, stress, and position in a word. And then the last one is language specific. So different languages treat the same sound variation differently. What is an allophone in one language may be a separate phoneme in another. So in English, the phoneme t has multiple allophones. T aspired in top is top, and t unaspired in stop is stop. And then the the first usage is to help in understanding phonetic variation in pronunciation. And then second is important in linguistics and language teaching to explain why certain sounds change in different contexts. And then the last one is used in speech synthesis and phonetics research to model how sounds are produced. And then the types of allophone. The first is free variation. So when allophones can be used interchangeably in the same environment without changing meaning. Example, pronouncing economics is either economics or economics. And then the last one is complementary distribution. So when allophones appear in different environments and they never overlap. Example, the aspired p in pet versus
And right here, I will answer the third question, which is, what is minimal pair? Alright, a minimal pair is a set of two words that differ by only one sound or phoneme, but have different meanings. In Morpho-Phonology, minimal pairs are used to analyze phonemic contrasts and understand how small sound differences can lead to distinct meanings in English. And I know you are still wondering how that we use minimal pair in our daily use language. I will give you the answer. So first, how do you use minimal pairs? Phoneme identifications. First, we have to distinguishing between phonemes in any kind of language. The second things, we have to learn and teaching by helping learners recognize and produce subtle sound differences. The third one, speech therapy, assisting in correcting pronunciations errors. You have to be careful with that. And the fourth one, the last one, is linguistic analysis. We have to understanding phonological rules in the English language. Here it comes to the final. What else rather than an example for you to get you better understanding? So first word, the example of minimal pair words is bit and beat. So the other example, there are pat and bat, sit and seat, cap and cap, fan and vent, sheep and sheep, tanned and dent. The last one is light and right. I understand about minimal pairs very well, but I still don't get it, and I don't understand the single meaning or any explanation about complementary distributions. What should I do? Oh, how if I ask my friend the explanation so I could understand too? You guys should hear their explanation as well. Guys, please explain.
Next one, we have complementary distribution. Complementary distribution refers to when two or more sounds never occur in the same phonetic environment. Instead, they appear in different, non-overlapping positions within words. This is a key indicator that the sounds are allophones of the same phoneme rather than separate phoneme.
For example, in English, the allophones of p are in complementary distribution. P, aspirated, appears at the beginning of a stressed syllable, like pin, pin. P, unaspirated, appears after s in spin, spin. Since p and p never appears in the same position, they are in complementary distribution and are allophones of the same phonemes, p.
The usage is first to use in phonological analysis to determine which sounds belong to the same phonemes. Second, it helps in language learning by explaining why some sounds change in different contexts. And third, useful in speech recognition and synthesis for accurately modeling pronunciation.
Next one is phonemic rules. These rules, also called phonological rules, describe the patterns of sound changes in a language. In every spoken language, sounds are not always pronounced exactly as they appear in writing. Instead, they change based on their position in a word or sentence, the sound is around them, and even speed of speech. Let's explore 4 the most common types of phonemic rules. The first one is assimilation. Assimilation happens when one sounds more like a nearby sound. This makes pronunciation smoother and easier. For example, in a casual speech, the phrase input is often pronounced as input. The end sound changes to match the P sound because it's easier to pronounce. The next one is dissimilation. Dissimilation is the opposite of assimilation. Instead of sound becoming more similar, they become less similar. This usually happens to make speech easier. A common example is the word February. Many English speakers pronounce it as February, dropping one of the air sound to make it flow more naturally. The next one is insertion or emphasis. Insertion occurs when a speaker adds an extra sound to a word. One example is how some people pronounce athlete as a-lit with an extra sound in the middle. Another example is film, which is sometimes pronounced as film. This happens because certain consonant clusters can be difficult to pronounce quickly, so an extra vowel is added. The next one is deletion or elision. Deletion, also called elision, happens when a sound is completely dropped from a word. This is very common in fast or casual speech. For instance, when people say friendship, the D sound is often disappear, make it sound like friendship. There are a few reasons why phonemic rules are important. First, they help us understand why spoken language differs from written language. This is useful for language learners who struggle with pronunciation. Second, phonemic rules make communication smoother and more natural. Without them, speech would sound robotic and unnatural. Lastly, knowing these rules can help accent and speech recognition technology like voice assistants and speech-to-text programs.